morning everyone. This is Rajshekhar. Today we are going to discussing about social studies 10th class 14th topic, the world between wars, part 2. Fourteenth topic, the world between wars 1900 to 1950, part 2. The topic mainly based on 5 key concepts. One of the Russian socialist revolution. First one is Russian Socialist Revolution. Second one is rise of Stalin. Third one is Great Depression. Great Depression. Fourth one is the rise of Nazism in Germany. Rise of Nazism in Germany. Fifth one is the defeat and end. The defeat and end. The chapter mainly based on 5 major concepts: Russian Socialist Revolution, rise of Stalin, Great Depression, rise of Nazism in Germany, the defeat and end. Finally, first one, Russian Socialist Revolution. The first means revolution means nothing but revolution means sudden change in any field. Sudden change, sudden movement, sudden change or sudden movement. First one, Russian Socialist Revolution. The Tsarist, the Russia was ruled by Tsars. T is silent there. The Tsar means Russian Empire. Russian Emperor or Empire. Russian Empire. Tsar means Russian Empire. The Tsarist Russia located a vast landmass. It was spread in 2 continents. It making 2 continents, Eurasia, Euro and Asian power, Euro-Asian powers. The Tsarist Empire was spread in 2 continents, Euro and Asian. Students, once you check your school atlas, where is located the Europe and Asia. And second one is the Russia had population, 3rd largest population in the world. The population of Russia is 156 millions people. After China and India, China got first place and India got second place. Third place is got by Russia. And the Russia comprises several nations like Russia, Ukraine, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Kazakhstan, Turkmenia. The vast Russian Empire comprised several nations. One of the Russia, Ukraine, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Kazakhstan and Turkmenia and etc. And Russia have highest and biggest army in the world, but before World War I, The Russia have largest or biggest army in the world. But after wars, the Russia lost 2 million civilians and military or soldiers. Before World War I, Russia had highest army in the world. But after wars, the nation lost 2 million civilians, common people or soldiers also. And most of the Russian people livelihood, the livelihood of the Russian derived from agriculture. The main occupation of Russian is agriculture. But most of the land were controlled by feudal lords. Feudal lords. Most of the Russian land was occupied by or owned by feudal lords. Cause between the struggle between peasants and feudals. In Russia, they started different struggles between peasants and feudalists. And most of the land owned by feudalists and most of the peasants paid rent for what they tilled. And the Tsarist Russia was ruled by Tsar Nicholas II. Tsar Nicholas II ruled over the vast Russian empire, any like autocrat with the help of army and bureaucracies. He helped autocrat, army and bureaucracies. Bureaucracy. Autocrat means nothing but autocrat means a person have unrestricted rules, unrestricted powers. And do you know army about army? And bureaucracies, they belongs from official families or noble families. They did not elected from elections. They bureaucracies and army and different people gave support to Tsar Nicholas II. Russian economy completely bled in the extreme by wars, completely bled in the war by wars. And the Tsar Nicholas Tsar Nicholas not okay. At the same time, the Tsar Nicholas II diverged foot to wars. At the same time, the women's around 10,000 women demanded for peace and bread. Peace and bread at the capital of Saint Petersburg. The Tsar Nicholas II diversion foot to wars, and the cities and different villages people suffered food and shortage of food. That's why the 10,000 people on March 8th, 1917 at the capital of Saint Petersburg, around 10,000 women demand for peace and bread. And the Tsar Nicholas II ordered to army suppress the demonstrators. Immediately, the Tsar Nicholas II ordered to army suppress the demonstrators, and at same even firing on them. But instead of here, the army and soldiers also joined in demonstrators. Within 2 days, within 2 days, the situation went to so much of out of hands. The Tsar Nicholas II abdicated from nation. Abdicated means fled away, and he went to he escaped to another nation. Abdicated from his nation, Tsar Nicholas II. After abdication of Tsar Nicholas II, non-aristocratic made the provisional government in Russia. Non-aristocrat made the provisional government in Russia. It is the first revolution. 1917 is the first revolution. 1917 is the first revolution, first Russian revolution. And they made another movement in October 1917, but it's not spontaneous. And at same time, some liberals and aristocrats also fought for their honor of fatherland also. Honor of fatherland. And do you know, very, very important in dates of the Russian calendar. Another one is dates of the Russian calendar. Russian calendar. The Russia followed Julian calendar until 1st February. 1st February. The Russian nation followed Julian calendar until 1st February. The country then changed the Gregorian calendar. The Russia followed Julian calendar until 1st February 1918. Until 1st February 1918, the country Russia changed Gregorian calendar, which was followed by every nation in the world today. And the difference between Gregorian and Julian calendar difference 13 days. The difference 13 days dates ahead of Gregorian calendar 13 days ahead of the Julian calendar. So our calendar shows February Revolution took place on 12th March, and October Revolution took place on 7th November. So that is the difference of Julian calendar and Gregorian calendar. One second, listen. Russian government followed Julian calendar until 1st February 1918. The country changed to Gregorian calendar, which is followed everyone today. But the Gregorian calendar aid of 13 days to Julian calendar. At same time our calendar. So our calendar shows February Revolution 12th March and October Revolution 7th November. That is the difference between Julian calendar and Gregorian calendar. And next one in about Russian Socialist Revolution. The common people of the Russia did not want any wars. they began organizing themselves some councils of Soviets. The Soviets are industrial workers, daily wage laborers, small poor peoples and rural area peoples and soldiers. The Soviets are industrial workers, soldiers, rural area peoples and artisans. Organize some Soviets which was channelized by the Russia Communist Party called the Bolsheviks. Bolsheviks. The Bolsheviks led by Vladimir Lenin. In 1872 1924. Vladimir Lenin led the Bolsheviks from 1872 to 1924. Vladimir Lenin. Bolsheviks win the confidence of the Soviets. Why? Because the Bolsheviks took the very welfare steps in the Russia. One of the they nationalized the all land. At the same time, they redistribute the land to poor peasants, and they nationalized the factories as well as banks. At the same time, they control the over prices. That's why the Bolsheviks win the confidence of the Soviets. However, gradually, so many Tsarist empires and nations agreed to join in the USSR. USSR means Union of Soviet Socialist Republic. It was established in 1924. So, USSR was established by Soviet government in Russia. And another important point is, or key concept is, the rise of Stalin. The rise of Stalin. After death of Vladimir Lenin in 1924, Joseph Stalin emerged as a leader of Communist Party. At the same time, first 10 decades, he controlled his opponents. At the same time, he began the program of 5 years plans. 5 years plans. 5-year plan in 1928. Economic development, he established the economic development scheme or program in Russia in 1928 by Joseph Stalin. And Joseph Stalin forcibly pulled the land from peasants, small farmers and large farmers, and he merged small and large tract of land, and he formed the collective farms. And another important is 5 years plan was mainly focused on industries and agriculture. So, the 5 years plan focused on first industries and agriculture. At the same time, the Stalin took the another step is he merged the collective farmings, and he did the collective farmings. He took land from forcefully took land from small peasants and large farmers and he formed the collective farms. The idea of Stalin, the small farming activity to it was spread to large farming scale and large farming sectors. At same time, the Stalin introduced the new techniques and new machines could be used in the agriculture. And beginning of the days, the small peasants and large farmers also fought against the Joseph Stalin, and immediately Joseph Stalin is imprisoned the farmers and deportation and arrested, and even they killed them the farmers also. Meanwhile, or by the result 1929 and 30 time, the Russia saw the severe famine and leading more many people died in the famine. And another one is after some years the farming activities rose and agriculture production also rose most of the towns, and they got the income also. At the same time, that income is helped to establish the industries in the Russia. So beginning of the days, Stalin faces so many challenges and troubles, and further they got the in future they got the more money from agriculture and industries. At the same time, Joseph Stalin took the many steps to industries and agriculture also. At the same time, rapid constructions in industries. Beginning of the days, first 1 year, the industries stoppage of 550 times, and city of Magnitogorsk and place. And at the same time, industrial workers also challenges so many problems, and conditions also very severe. Interseason, the people faces a lot of troubles also. And interseason, the temperature is below 40 degrees Celsius. They climbed down, they went to streets, crossed the streets and for toilets. So what to understand here, beginning of the days in Russia, they constructed new buildings, new quarters for workers, industrial workers. Such a way the people suffer so many problems. And later some years, Joseph Stalin focused on education, and education at same time he built the universities also for industrial workers, creches, university schools, primary schools and universities, and creches for children who they are working in women workings. At same time, Joseph Stalin generated the employment for the citizens. But Western nations deeply affected by the Great Depression. But Russia was escaped from the Great Depression. Why? Because the Stalin took the very welfare steps, welfare schemes, welfare programs. So at same time, the experience of Russia, many people in the world attracted to Stalin principles. Even in our India, one of the member M.N. Roy, Manavendra Roy and Tagore and Nehru also attracted to the principles of this Joseph Stalin. But the three members argued and opposed the control of the politicians and oppositions. Mainly the Stalin controlled the politicians and other parties and media also. So another one is Great Depression. Great Depression 1929 to 39. The ending of 29 and beginning of the World War II. The period of Great Depression. The ending of 1929 and World War beginning 1939 in the during the period of Great Depression. So, Great Depression means nothing but the worldwide decline economy triggered by decline and demand and fall in prices. Demand and fall in prices. Demand and fall in prices. And USA stock market also collapsed. From USA, 22% of unemployed. During the Great Depression time, unemployed in USA is 22% and remaining nations, other countries 33%. During Great Depression time, agriculture production also reduced 66%. Collapsed America stock market, their unemployment is 22% and other neighboring nations unemployed person is 33% and agriculture sector reduced and production also reduced 66%. And during Great Depression time, many industries closed down, the factories shut down and several unemployed lost their employment. So, this time during Great Depression time, several economists and politicians also gave different suggestions, mainly Karl Marx. Karl Marx criticized capitalism. He want to replace the socialism. And another one is J.M. Keynes. J.M. Keynes suggested to government should play a crucial role in this crisis time. And at the same time, he gave another suggestion is invest the funds to people and at the same time generate the employment also. So, at the same time, another one is Roosevelt, US ex-president. Roosevelt created 3 Rs and New Deal policy. New Deal policy created by Roosevelt. He was a US ex-president. At the same time, he introduced 3 Rs. Relief, one of the relief, reform, third one is recovery. So, different economists and politicians gave suggestions in the during Great Depression time. One of the Karl Marx, second one is J.M. Keynes, and the third one is Roosevelt also gave the different they suggested the different suggestions. Two nations, USA and USSR. USA and Britain. USA and Britain also gave pensions, old age pensions, welfare schemes for their peoples also. Okay.